could be, it's somewhere where you can, expect a good bounce from the Wankhede wicket. Again, bounce-wise, this wicket, it's looked really good. What is the strategy going to be the same as far as the hard lengths are concerned? You have a bowler like Harshit Rana also now into the scheme of things, who has been doing really well as far as last couple of years are concerned. So how do you see this wicket, and the bowlers, especially you have fast bowlers?
I think Wankhede is always a high-scoring game. Margins are very small there. In terms of where you want to land the ball, and your execution at the end of the day needs to be on cue. It's very similar. I think only saving graces, you can always have a little bit of overcast conditions. In England, we always find there's something in with the new ball, and I think we cover a lot of bases in terms of what and who we can put in different roles. We've got guys who can bowl well with a new ball like Harshit. I think the way he's come back after a lengthy layoff has been very, very good. Prince has done exceptionally well, and then Arshdeep with his experience. We're also, thinking of going with the bigger grounds, taking pace a little bit off the ball. I mean, those are all options and discussions we're having, as a group. But I think, today we're going to have the first look at the venue. Stats may say dictate one aspect of it, but I think at the end of the day we still need to fit and see what's going to be the best for us going forward into this match.
Morning, hi. Just wanted to know your feedback of your assessment of whatever you have seen of Prince so far, Prince Yadav. Of course, he had a very good IPL now coming through the ranks. He bowls that hard length and can bowl in different phases of the game as well. And maybe his lengths are ideal for for South African condition where the 50-over World Cup will be played next year. So if you can talk about him a little bit. Thank you.
I was quite lucky to work with Prince while I was with LSG, with Lucknow Super Giants. Prince at the time was a net bowler, and there he was already marked as somebody that was highly skilled, and it was great to see his journey now, and then playing for England, for India. I'm just blown away by how calm he keeps things. I think he's also a guy that's always every session looking for ways to improve his game and make himself better. But at the end of the day, it's about execution. And I think at the moment, if we talk about death bowling and at middle phases of the game, how he reads the play, what decisions he makes under pressure, and then executing that, for me it's great to see.
Hi, Morne.
Hi.
So I want to ask you about Sooryavanshi. How has he settled into the India squad? I guess especially with a few extra challenges like the changing room he has to change in on his own and things like that. Has that been quite straightforward, and have you as a squad kind of embraced that to make him feel included?
I think he's fit it in very, very well. I think if you follow the boys on Instagram, there's already a lot of photos been posted, with him especially, and just the way the guys have welcomed him. I think at the nets as a 15-year-old. At the international stage, it can be intimidating, but I think just the couple of nets we've had, it's been very impressive, and we all are excited to see how he goes, and when he gets that opportunity, I'm pretty sure he'll be ready. But in terms of coming into the squad and fitting in, it's been very smooth.
Morne, I just wanted to take you back to time at Surrey, if that's all right, and ask you about your memories of playing with a very young Sam Curran at the time. Could you tell us a little bit about anything you remember of him, his sort of determination, any early leadership you saw in him, and how you've seen his trajectory since?
Sammy's always been a player that what I liked about him is he's always confident. He's a guy that in tough situations he wants the ball, he wants to step up, he wants to make the play, and that's the X factor that he brings into his side. Is a guy always who's not nervous or who doesn't overthink the game, and he wants to make the play for the team. I think you need that character, that style in your side. And as a young boy when I played at Surrey, that this sort of his DNA coming through the system there, and he's been also player of tournaments and World Cups. He's done really well for England, with white ball when he got the opportunity at the death. I think he's a guy that understands his games. He knows how to calm the emotions down when it's a pressure situation, and that's a good skill to have.
Morning, last game, obviously rain, because of rain the game was abandoned, but as a bowling unit, what did you thought of 190 target? Was it enough on that surface? Were we ahead after halftime? What was your assessment, and are we expecting any changes in playing 11 in tomorrow's game?
Look, to be honest with you, I thought on the eye the wicket looked a bit dry. And also the feedback that we got at the wicket was a little bit too pace and stoppy. Only thing I was then later, while we were batting our batter innings, what I was slightly concerned and nervous about was the fact with the rain, is the ball going to then skid on? But I reckon if conditions stay dry, the way we set up our bowling plans and attack in terms of the way we wanted to go about it would have suited the venue quite well. I mean, there's big square boundaries. There was also a wind, plus the surface is quite dry. So it's one of those never know sort of situations. But, I would definitely like to think that, the quality we have had in our bowling department, we could defend that on that surface there.
Morne, what do you feel about the all-rounders role here, spinner as well as the medium pacers? Because it's an afternoon game, it starts at 2:30.
Pardon, what is that? Sorry, the first part?
What do you think about the all-rounders role, spinners as well as the medium pacers? Because it's an afternoon game here, being a bowling unit.
Look, I think as an all-rounder, is there anybody in particular you refer to? But I think it's always good to have those options. If you can give them 2 overs to get through or 1 over to get through, and then you can always rotate your bowling unit around that. But I'm always a big fan for having that all-round option into your side that can give you the balance with bat and ball.
Hi, Morne. Going back to Sooryavanshi, what factors do you have to consider as a coaching team about when to throw in for this debut with so much excitement about when we'll see him?
Look, I don't think there's a lot of factors. I think we just need to also respect the fact that we've got the number one batter, or we had our number one batter in T20 cricket, Abhishek Sharma. Sanju was the player of the World Cup. He had a great, IPL. So I think as a coaching staff, it's only fair to show also the faith and back your players. Yes, there's a young man knocking on the door, and it's exciting. But I reckon for not just those 2 players at the top, but for the rest of the group, it's a good sign that we show that we back you guys. And at the end of the day, it is about putting performances on the board. That is key. But also, if you look at it, we also don't want to think it too much and bat other players out of positions. So I reckon it's not as straightforward. Okay, let's play him. It's a matter of backing some of the guys who's won World Cups, who's done really well for you, in tough situations, and then also from there build and see how we can structure and make our top middle order, as good as possible in these conditions.
Morne, after the